Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel. This is the Crucible of NYC. I'm your host, Domingo. Here's another little surprise that I ordered. The Redodo lithium iron phosphate 100 amp hour battery that is a group 24 size. I ordered it so that I can use it as, this is going to be one of the batteries that I'm going to try to put into the toolbox that I wanted to just migrate everything over from the old DIY into a box. Okay folks, so let's start with the unboxing on this Redodo lithium iron phosphate 100 amp hour battery. Let's see how it's normally packaged. The same way how I received the Power Queen. It's just foam and just some paperwork on what was inside. Sorry about this folks, it was just doing this with one hand. Kind of sucks, but all right, so let's see how this looks like inside. All right, so here it goes. So you have your manual, as most of the battery manufacturers, they give you some instructions on how to store the battery, how to parallel them, how to serial connect them. So this is pretty good information to have, as well as the warranty information for the battery. Usually these batteries, they're pretty sturdy. They're all pretty much built the same. They use cells that are in series, four cells, and then they're just connected serial. So here it is. Here's your instructions. Basic instructions tells you how to store the battery, what to do and what not to do, not to open them. Here are the steps of the capacity and how to, when they ship it, that they ship it like 30 to 50%, and it shows you instructions on how to connect it to the inverter. And these are just stickers that Redodo ships so that you can represent. Okay, and then the last one is the manual, and that's for the 12.8 volt 100 amp hour group 24 battery with the 100 amp hour BMS. So looking at the instructions, it just gives you what's the recommended charge current at 20 amps and also the continuous power at 1280 watts. So yeah, just basic instructions on how to take care of your battery, how to charge, discharge, and using solar panel methods on how to connect these batteries properly. So it's a lot of information that I'm sure that you can find online on how to connect these batteries. So here are the bolts for the batteries. So it comes with terminal bolts, excuse me. And there goes the battery. So, wow, it's almost a third of the size. Pretty beefy. So, there's the battery. There's nothing else inside the box, so we'll toss that box. And here we have the Redodo battery. Looks nice though. And I guess that's all how the batteries are, I guess, to coordinate the colors. Wow, these handles are, they're not resistant, so they're just regular flops. So you have your terminal covers there, and it's just as basic as any battery would be. So here's just to get a glimpse on how big that battery is and how big this battery is. Here we go. Let's see how that looks. So, wow, what a difference, huh? So the purpose of this battery is to, like I said, transition it into this box and see how that's gonna work out for me, because I was planning to put two of them in parallel to just have a longer runtime and continue to use either the 1000 watt inverter from Redodo or upgrade it to the 2000 watt pure and sine wave, and just take everything that you see here into that box. So let's see how that's gonna fit inside this box with this battery. Okay, so after picking up this battery, wow, it's a perfect fit. Yeah, that'll be awesome. So it's either to put it in this orientation, and let's see if you can see it because it's kind of dark in there. So it would be either in this orientation or, yeah, that's not gonna work. Side by side will definitely not work. So most likely I would have to buy the other one and just put it side by side and have both batteries there and run them in parallel, and then run all the circuit breakers. I also have extra, I have some disconnects. Also purchased some of the charging ports to charge it from the outside as well. And yeah, so we'll see how this is going to work out. I mean, so far it looks like it will be a perfect fit just to put everything from this board in there. I just have to coordinate. And I was trying to think maybe separating everything, the inverter in another case, and stack them so that I can make this stackable, and we'll see. So far I'll connect the battery and just see what's the state of charge to the meter and see what we got. Okay folks, so after getting the meter, I wanted to try to see if I can do this with one hand. So here's the positive and the negative terminal, and let's see if I can reach it. And yeah, it's at 13.18 volts. So it's at about, I think it's like about 50% state of charge. I have to look at the chart again, and I'll post it up on the screen to let you guys know how much percent state of charge it is. And so I think that this should be fairly simple. I have a 20 amp charger that I use to charge my Power Queen lithium iron phosphate as well. And we'll see, or I can just connect the cables from the battery terminal to the shunt, and then see from the Renogy shunt and see what's the battery state of charge. Okay everyone, so I decided to connect the battery on the top of the toolbox, and I connected my 20 amp charger for the lithium iron phosphate battery. So this is a smart battery charger that I purchased as well from Amazon. So you can select on the button, change the setting, and give me a second. Okay, so here we're going to select Lifepo4, which is going to make sure to select the lithium iron phosphate. So that's what we're going to use for the settings to charge the Redodo 100 amp hour battery. But in the meantime, I connected it to the shunt and to the 100 amp breaker switch. So we're going to switch this on, and I'm going to go ahead and connect, actually power on the inverter from the bottom, and that should give me a state of charge here, and we'll see. And I believe it's reading at 13.1 volts. Yeah, so it looks like it's fluctuating. I can go ahead and see on, let's see, okay, so yeah, it looks like it is set to 100 amp hours that I set it to. This is just the display screen. So we'll go to the menu settings. This turns it off. Okay. There you go. So we're at 100 amp hour capacity. Full is 12.8, and zero off is 10.8, which is the cutoff where this should shut off. I have to double check the BMS settings and when is the cutoff on the BMS on the low voltage, so that this way I'll see. And then this is for the solar, and as well as the lights and the Bluetooth module for the Renogy shunt. So it looks like it is at 100 amp hours, but it does say 100%. So I guess Redodo does ship the battery at at a 100% instead of 30 to 50% as stated in the manual. So we'll double check that. So just to make sure that we have the correct information, let's go through the manual and let's see. Yeah, so the low voltage disconnect is at 10.8, which I have set on the Renogy shunt. And yeah, so back to the battery and no more manual. So it seems like it's on without a problem. I just have to put a load on the battery to see how much it can pull. I can connect the heater and see how that works out. So if you guys give me a minute, I'll try to test the capacity in the heater. Okay, folks, so I connected the heater to the inverter to get a reading from the shunt and see how that works out. So let's put the heater on low. And we have a reading of 674 watts at 53.3 amps. So just to verify, I have my little clamp meter. It's going to calibrate, and let's see if we can detect how many amps. Sorry, folks. Okay. Let's see. Yep, 54.91 amps. So the shunt seems like it's reading it just a little off at 53.76 amps, and this has 100 amp BMS inside of the battery. So it seems like, so with this Redodo, so we have the inverter from Redodo's 1,000 watt inverter, and let's just put it on high and see what's the surge going to look like. So it's at 1.3 kilowatts, pushing 113 amps. So let's see what the meter reads. 115 amps. Wow. Way to go, Redodo. Look at that. And still hanging strong. And that's just 1,000 watt inverter, putting around 1.3 kilowatts. And now that I lowered it down, it's at 674 watts at 53.9 amps. Wow, so I'm very impressed with the battery, very impressed with the Redodo as well inverter. And for now, I mean, I'm blown away. I'm happy to see that the inverter held its own for 1.3 kilowatts, which is 1,300 watts. And the total peak here says 1,280 watt hours. So on the manual, I believe it said it was 100 amps, the maximum, so about 1,200 watts. And then you have the 1,000 watt inverter. So you have a little bit of room, a little bit of overage there, but I'm actually really surprised. I'm glad to see that that their products held on. And what we can do now is we can start the charging process to see how that handles out. So being that this was stressed pretty heavily, I would like to use the meter and see where the battery is at. So excuse me, folks, because I just have one hand available. So I'm gonna try to see how I can do this. I can read this, see what's the voltage on the battery right now. 13.10 volts, 13 volts. And the shunt is reading 13 volts as well. And that 5.2 watts is from the inverter and the accessories that are there. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the battery charger and see how this charges. I have it set to 20 amps lithium iron phosphate setting. So we're gonna go ahead and connect the positive and then the negative. And then we'll see the charger go ahead and do its work. So that's just a reading of the Celsius of the temperature inside. of the smart chargers. It's charging at 6.3 amps, 91 degrees Fahrenheit, 13.6 voltage. It's the battery, 11.4. So you see it's fluctuating, and you can hear the fans cranking up. So now it's pumping in 16 amps. So being that the charger stating that it's charging at 19 amps, I'd have to double check. Let's see. So it's drawing back in 3. Okay. So far we'll use the charger. It seems that this is effective and it's working. It's charging the battery. So it's at. So what are my final thoughts? Redodo is a great battery, great company. They make great products. I haven't had any problems with my inverter, and I've had that inverter for about a year, connected to the lithium iron phosphate Power Queen battery with all my accessories connected to the shunt, distribution block, and my circuit breaker fuses, and my PWM solar charge controller, and the lights. So I know that a lot of people don't really like the PWM solar charge controller, but to be quite honest with you, the one from Renogy, I have tested. I had a MPPT one, and I tried it, and it worked fantastic. It's just, I used it. I have it at another system and another setup. I've used the MPPT one. It was I believe it was 20 amps, and between this one and the one that I had before, this is a 30 amp Wander PWM solar charge controller, and the other one was 20 amps. And to be honest with you, the performance was like minuscule. I mean, I'm telling you, like 10 to maybe 25, maybe 10, 25 watts of a variance of a difference, but it worked fine. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. And the reason why also I did it with the PWM was because I trust Renogy's as a brand, and I trust their products. And this especially this model here, it works fantastic. I think that if you're looking to be on a budget, I would say definitely get something like that, because you really don't have to spend a lot of money on a solar charge controller unless you're building something big. But if you're building something on a budget, you can do this way. And trust me, you can do it this way. It's a lot cheaper. You save a lot of money. And I got this Redodo battery, I think it was at $200 when it was on sale, or $190. So you really have to calculate what you really need and what you really want. Yeah, so this concludes my testing and just my thoughts, that I think that the Redodo battery, the Group 24 size, is perfect. I was actually going to get the mini size because I figured that maybe getting a smaller battery would be better, but I think that the mini size uses pouch cells, and this Group 24 still uses those Eve cells, those pneumatic cells, and I think that it's better to stick to those types. I mean, the pouch cells are great. They still give you the same warranty, and I think that I scored big with this one, especially with the project that I'm going to do. I'm going to put everything inside here. I'm going to purchase another one so I can make it a 200 amp hour into this cart from Bauer that it's from Harbor Freight, and we'll see what happens. Let's see how that project is going to come along. That's going to be a long project for me because of time. So I hope that you liked the video, folks. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them on the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't. Take care and have a good one.